So we talked about at the beginning of the show, we talked about the need that it feels like there's a need to humble a lot of black men in this era that we're in right now. I mean, we seen what happened with P. Diddy. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, or R. Kelly and any of these other guys. But recently, I've seen what seems to be a trend in our culture. This tendency to wait until young brothers are at their absolute pinnacle, at their peak, and then try to knock them off their pedestal. And I'm not saying it's a new trend, but it's something that I think has really come into focus the last few weeks. We just saw Shannon Sharpe just have to give one of the most bizarre apologies. And I don't even know what I would call it. Let me see if I think I should be able to play it. I don't think he doesn't say anything that's too graphic, but it is bizarre that somebody would have to release something like this to the public in the year 2025 for having a consensual relationship with somebody, unless that there was some sort of purposeful humiliation of this man. Here's what I'm talking about.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
Okay, so what, for some context, Shannon Sharpe, who is a former NFL star and ESPN personality, is involved in a few legal battles involving allegations of sexual assault, battery, and just being an overall freak. And so now we know that this video was in regards to a lawsuit by a woman named Gabriela Zuniga, also, as he said, known as Carly on OnlyFans. He's being accused by her of sexual assault and battery. She has filed a $50 million civil suit against Sharpe in Clark County, Nevada. Now, we've seen he's released some text messages between him and this young lady who is much younger than him. And that's a whole nother, story, because somebody his age needs to probably be doing something more productive with his life than, being with, 19 and 20-year-olds. I mean, though they are both consenting adults, I will say they're both consenting adults, but still, that's neither here nor there. But obviously they had some sort of consensual relationship. So on some level, this is inherently a shakedown because she's suing him for $50 million after having a consensual relationship with this man. My question is, why is the media so intent on amplifying and making this man look guilty right when he's about to sign a $100 million contract? Why are they so interested in criminalizing this black man when he's about to sign the biggest contract of his life? And more importantly, why are so many people so quick to want to believe that this black man is guilty of this right when he's about to sign the biggest contract of his life? And for me, it goes back to this need to humble Shannon Sharpe. Ever since his interview with Cat Williams last January, we talked about it here on the show where, you know, Cat Williams actually forecasted a lot of the trouble that P. Diddy was going to get in, and Shannon himself in some ways. But ever since he got that piece of success, and he's been killing it on First Take with Stephen A. Smith, and he's more successful in his second career at this point as an announcer and a commentator than he was in his first career as an NFL Hall of Fame tight end. And that's incredible to say. Very few people can say that their second career is more substantial, more lucrative than their first career. And they're Hall of Fame at what they did in their first career. So why is it now that after all this success, all of a sudden all these people come out of the woodwork to attack this man? All of the blue with lawsuits. Never any criminal charges. And more importantly, why does the media feel the need to present this as anything but what it appears to be, which is a shakedown and blackmail, obviously? And so we're seeing that there is this concerted effort to humiliate this obviously successful black man who is at the pinnacle of his heightened fame. We just had the NFL draft a few days ago, and one of Shannon Sharpe's good friends, Deion Sanders, his son was in the draft itself, and he was expected by everybody to be at least a first-round pick. And all you keep hearing, all this chatter is, oh, he's not humble enough. He's not humble enough. He thinks he's this. He thinks he's that. And so the first round comes, he doesn't get drafted. The second round comes, he doesn't get drafted. The third round comes, he doesn't get drafted. Fourth round comes, he doesn't get drafted. Finally, in the fifth round with the 144th pick, somebody finally takes Sheduer Sanders, the son of NFL legend Deion Sanders. And I'm happy that the Sanders family did not allow the haters to rain on a parade. They celebrated it like he had been selected in the first round. Even though this was a message. This was a message that was being sent, just like it's a message being sent to Shannon Sharpe. Don't get too big for your britches, boy. Because we'll put you in your place. Don't think because you got some money and a name that you gonna be independent, that you gonna be free, that you gonna say what you want, that you gonna act the way you want. We'll put you in your place. And this goes back. This is a long history right here. This goes back to Jack Johnson, who was the first heavyweight champion, black heavyweight champion of the world. Jack Johnson was the champion back in 1908, back when black people were being lynched regularly. This man drove fancy cars. He had gold teeth. He dated white women. And America could not stand, or should I say white America, could not stand Jack Johnson for that reason. He was not humble enough. And so America took it upon himself to humble him. And guess how they did it? With sexual assault charges against a white woman. They accused him of in violation of the Mann Act, which is basically sex trafficking, which is what they got P. Diddy on right now. When Muhammad Ali came up in the 60s, and he was telling everybody, hey, look, I'm the greatest, I'm this, again, America said, you need to be humbled. You need to be humbled. And so they took everything from Muhammad Ali. They banished him from boxing because he wouldn't go to Vietnam. But really, they were putting him in his place. They were saying, boy, just because you can box, just because you think you got some talent, you not free. We've seen it with with Floyd Mayweather, who spent his entire career being villainized and vilified for being confident and black. We saw it with Mike Tyson, another man who went down on sex charges because, again, he was too big for his britches. And don't think that it's only black men. Oh no, it's not only black men who our society hopes to humble. Black women also can be the target, and we've seen this over the last year or so in the WNBA with Angel Reese. Now, hopefully they won't find any charges to put her up on. But ever since she has stepped into the national spotlight, she has been vilified. She has been called the angry black woman. They have torn her down about every single facet of her life, her personality, her looks. She's been targeted for hate in every single way because she is a confident black woman. And it's the same people who prop up people like Caitlin Clark, who I love. I love Caitlin Clark. She's one of my favorite players. But she is being used as a sort of battering ram to beat Angel Reese with by the media and by a lot of racist sports fans. And so the message is the same. If you get too big for your britches, we're going to put you back in your place. And it's unfortunate to say that as far as we've come in sports, black people, black Americans dominate in every single facet of the sporting landscape. But even after all this time, there is still this relationship that we have with the media and with other entities that feel like all of this is conditional. Your greatness isn't enough. It's not enough to be great. We need you to bow down and prostrate yourself in order to be seen as worthy of all this money and fame and adulation. And that is not what we do to white athletes. Babe Ruth is universally beloved and respected, considered the greatest athlete by a lot of people that America's produced. For many years he was. People often called the Babe Ruth of this, the Babe Ruth of that. But if you're black, you got to know your place. And if you don't know your place, you better believe they're going to be trying to put you back in your place. And so I'm sorry I'm not going to be able to get these callers, but before I leave, I just want to say, look, a lot of this is these athletes themselves have to understand, and their parents and their families have to understand that they are playing on an uneven playing field. This is why I talked about Dick Barnett at the early part of the show, going to a HBCU, going to a historically black college. We have to start building our own institutions. And maybe that means our own leagues and our own media outlets. Thank God I work for some place like WLTH. One of the reasons why I stay here is because it is black owned. It is community radio here in the city of Gary. We cannot expect to get a fair shake from the white-owned media. That's just a fact. We never have in all the years we've been in this country. And young athletes are going to have to know that you're not going to get a fair shake. So act accordingly. All right, folks. I just wanted to put that out there really quick.